And this all began on the January the 5th, when the pair abandoned a burning vehicle on the junction 4 of the M61. Constantine had given birth to her child in the back of that car, leaving the placenta. The placenta was then seized by the police and is now under forensic examination. They haven't yet got the results. Those results will tell them the sex of that child. It may well be, I don't know enough, but it may well give other medical information. They then went on the run, and for a period of time, there was no sighting. They then resurfaced again, and having been resurfaced, they really came to the real notice in New Haven when they were sighted properly at a garage. And that is the last sighting of them. When we hear from Andrew, he told us that a taxi driver talks about picking up 2 adults and a child. So that's very positive at that stage when they were seen in New Haven. What was the date of that, Andrew?
So that was January 8th.
January 8th. So around January, the 5th, they go missing. They're sighted in Colchester on January the 7th, and then January the 8th, they are sighted in New Haven. But they haven't been seen since then. And obviously, 54 days on, they are now in custody, and the child is nowhere to be seen. There is a huge search underway around the area where they were searched, and I'm sure that will be opened up wider as they start to eliminate some of that areas. We are all praying and hoping that there will be good news. This really is the golden hour. The opportunities now to find that child are getting less and less as the hours go by. They are searching and using every resource available to them. They'll be using helicopters, dogs, they'll be using specialist search teams, they'll be using search team advisors to try and identify the most relevant places to search. And of course, they'll be using as much backtracking as possible, so as many other forensics. And don't forget, when people go about their daily routine, they often leave a footprint. I don't know whether either or both of them had a mobile phone, but they will, if they have them on them, be seized. And of course, they will be trying to recapture as much footprint information from those phones so they can establish where they have been. That would be great if there is a record there, because it makes the police's job so much easier to be able to focus on areas. The wider the area to search, obviously, the harder it is, and the greater resources required to be able to do that. And this really is a fingertip search. We saw those pictures in the allotment. Let's just pop them back up again, Jodie. Those pictures in the allotment, and the amount of officers that are going literally from one area to the other, lifting everything up, looking for a tiny object, of course, a child, a baby, to see if they are there. Well, our thoughts are with that child. We hope that there will be some positive news. Andrew, still a lot of activity behind you?
That's right. I just had a group of, I would say, about 10 police officers just walk past me. And there really has been all day a constant flow of vans, cars, officers walking in and out of the search areas. And I think that will continue for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I would suspect the police, I suspect that Constantine and Mark were both using burner phones, using throwaway SIMs. And as a result of that, the information, if they're throwing the phones away, will be limited, but there will be a track of them in the most recent days or hours before they replaced their last phone. And as the days got on, those 54 days, they may well have become more cocky. They may well have thought, you know what, they haven't got us now, and become, as a result of that, less likely to change their phone, maybe as often as they did in the first few days. The importance, of course, of changing your phone is that nobody else has your number. And of course, if other people have your number, then it's much harder to remain off the grid. They're very good at remaining off the grid, and they were very used to doing that. Their time has come to an end. We now hope and pray that that young baby will be found as soon as possible.